Pulse of the culture, man. I'm back with a special show today, man. My special guest today, man. He really needs no introduction, man. He just got his own lane, his own game, but we're gonna talk a little bit different today, man. We're gonna talk about this crypto, man. And I want everybody to welcome to the show my guy Sean, man. Sean, man, welcome to the round table podcast.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate having you, man. Yo, man, like, just let the listeners know a little bit about yourself before we dive into this, man.
Sure. So my name is Sean Warner, from Bergen County, Teaneck area. And one of my main passions is really crypto, the blockchain area.
Right.
It's still new, it's still growing. A lot of times people, they just fear missing out.
Right.
What's the next trend, but this is something that's gonna be everlasting, and that's something that I got a big interest in.
Now we gonna dive right into this, man, because this is something I really don't have an understanding about. But let's just start from the beginning, King.
Okay.
Where did it start at for you? How did you even get involved? You know what I mean?
So, like I was trying to kind of allude to, like, I always have just been passionate about different ventures, just business. Like, I'm one of those people that, if I got an idea, I'm gonna go after it. You know what I mean? I've been in startup accelerator programs and things like that. A startup accelerator program or incubator program is basically where, if you got an idea, a company will help you with the resources to help you develop the brand, maybe get team members or what have you. So I was in things like that.
Okay.
Don't
they have, not to cut you off, don't they have the commercial for that? Team Inventors or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Okay.
Right.
I'm following you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, but specifically how I got into blockchain, at the time I was trying to develop this app, and I wanted it to be like a bartering app.
Okay.
So everybody's familiar with bartering, just like, trading, like we just give dollar bills value, basically. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So a barter is, we could barter this water bottle, you know what I mean? And it could hold value.
Got you.
So that's something I wanted to create. Started doing my research. I found about this thing called Bitcoin. And then I'm like, Bitcoin. Then I'm hearing these terms: Bitcoin, blockchain, crypto, and this is in like 2017.
Okay.
So it was about around that time I started researching, and the more and more I look into it, I'm like, wow, this has value. This has something called a decentralized blockchain. So it was all these just new terms that I never heard of.
Right. So it got you.
It caught my attention,
right,
but I knew it was like along the lines of where I was going, and I knew that much. Just because of that much, I had to just dive in and just really start researching and learning more. And then from there, it kind of took me on a different path.
Now, was it a path that you was expecting, or was it just something completely new to what you were trying to do? Because at the end of the day, not too many of us understand the crypto, or even the bartering, like you just said.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're kind of like, you're the very first to come on this platform and to talk about it.
Right.
So once it sparked you and it had the antennas going, where did you go from there? Like did you reach out to some individuals? Did you go to some seminars?
So you're exactly right. So I did online seminars, basically. At that time, people that were more versed in the space, and I did, before even that, just do my research online in the Facebook groups. We have so many resources at our disposal nowadays. Everybody just is not, they don't got the time to really dig in,
right?
Or they just don't feel like it's a priority at the time, if anything.
It's not nothing that's catching them for the moment.
For the moment, right? Exactly. So it happened to catch me, and ultimately I reached out to different people. I found a couple different people interested. And then I started, writing my own kind of projects for crypto, and it was something called white papers. So, that's, something that people would have to learn more about. But white papers is basically, a published document by a company kind of disclosing a new up and coming technology. So it's like before it even comes out, you already know what the value is, you know, what it's about. So
and you can research this.
right.
And
So
it's called white paper.
right. So I would say right now there's about 2,500 cryptocurrencies that exist. And with all those projects, all the legit project now, don't get me wrong, and I want to preface this as well. You know, none of anything what I'm saying is financial advice. You know, I'm not a financial advisor per se. But,
Right.
you know,
Thanks
of
for
course,
even letting the people know that, because people get caught up in
right.
I
You know,
follow you. Let's go.
Like yeah, of course, do your own research as always. But you know, what I was trying to get to is with the whole, there's about 2,500 cryptocurrencies as a whole.
Okay.
So within those cryptocurrencies, to look for where the value is, especially if it's a new up and coming project, you want to go to the website and you want to look at the white papers. So the white papers is one of the key things in crypto.
So that's something you can Google. Google white papers.
Right.
But you may not have. I'm just trying to get our listeners to stay with us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got the white papers, but what would you Google under white? A certain name or?
So I would start with the Bitcoin white papers.
Okay, Bitcoin white papers.
Right.
For those that have their pen and pads out, you know what I mean? Bitcoin. Say it again, my brother. I don't want to get anybody confused.
Yeah, no problem. So you're gonna check out BITCOIN white papers, exactly how it sounds. You know, white papers, and it's pretty much just a published document by any company that shows you what the technology is about. In this case, we're talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the very first cryptocurrency.
Okay.
And it's what started it all.
Okay.
So, just briefly, I also want to say the purpose of Bitcoin was the first peer-to-peer currency. And what that means is, right now, I say, D, I'm going to sell you this water bottle, right? You say it costs $1, or let's say for argument's sake $5. I can send you through Bitcoin. You got your wallet, I got my wallet. I can send you it, and maybe be charged a fraction of a cent just for charging that.
So you don't even have to send the physical 5. You're sending the Bitcoin.
Right.
Right.
The digital currency.
The digital currency. So let me ask you this, for those that don't know, such as myself, and thank you for this lesson that you're giving us. Is it any fugazis? Because, you know, if you looking this stuff up, we don't know. You know, there's a lot of false internet things going on. How would you know if it's official, though? By going to the white paper.
So,
because, you know, people can put up false sites.
Yeah, of course.
And somebody Google it. Oh, I think, you know, who don't know.
And that's a good point.
Thank you.
That's a great point, because Bitcoin is almost, and I don't want to offend anybody, but it's almost in cryptocurrency. But being that Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency, it's almost like a religion at this point. Like,
okay,
you know, so one thing that, to answer your question, I would say is you have to just research or look more into the story of Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, this is going to sound crazy, and this might be Chinese or Japanese. I think it means Happy New Year, but that's besides the point. So Satoshi Nakamoto. All right, so you're familiar with, everybody I think is at least somewhat with the 2008 financial crisis, right?
Yes.
So in 2009, a pseudonym or you know, somebody under the name of Satoshi Nakamoto came out with a white paper for the Bitcoin cryptocurrency. So this white paper kind of disclosed what he was going to do. So this was back in 2009. So back then, you could have bought up like, so right now, let's say, I'm not sure off the top of my head, I don't want to go look at my phone, but let's say right now Bitcoin is worth like $50,000 as a whole. Back then, you could have bought it for like 10 cents, you know, 30 cents.
Nobody was even
and it just came out. Exactly.
Right.
So right now, it's, you know, I would say it's just important just to kind of start with the beginning and just learning more about Satoshi Nakamoto. But basically, people suspect that it's maybe a government it's maybe one specific person.
I was going into that, you know.
But no one really knows. But this kind of started it all, and what it allowed was for people to trade this digital currency all across the world. So it's not a physical coin; it's called Bitcoin. But a coin just refers to something called the blockchain.
Okay.
So the blockchain is the actual. Now stay with me. I know this is a lot, y'all.
We lit, yo. That's why you here. Do your thing.
Say that.
Cause I'm gonna hit you with some questions.
Okay.
So do your thing.
Okay. So yeah. So Bitcoin is produced on something called a blockchain. So a blockchain is pretty much a distributed ledger. If anybody's not familiar with a ledger, it's just what the banks use. You know, it's like
bank ledgers.
Same thing. But a blockchain, particularly, a blockchain particularly, the whole purpose of it is it allows us to interact without a third party. It's just the technology itself that's allowing us to trade currencies.
I follow you. You don't have to have a middleman.
There's no middleman involved, and you're sending it for a fraction of a cent. There's no bank. That's the biggest thing. There's no bank. You know what I mean? It's just me, you, and the technology. So then, you know, it's really a interesting field because it's a whole new world. Everybody, I'm sure heard of the Metaverse now, or is hearing about Meta with Mark Zuckerberg, him changing the name from Instagram. So you know, the Metaverse it's a little step further than just regular cryptocurrency. It has everything to do with cryptocurrency, but what's pretty much going on with cryptocurrencies is there's something called Web3.
Okay.
So Web 1 is the very basic internet, like AOL, you know, back in the day. Like,
So for those that are starting up, where should they start at with that? With the web? Should they go to Web 1 or should they, you know what I mean? Because you know, not to cut you, but everybody want to know how they can generate it. You know, everybody want to do the quick flip.
Right.
Because, you know, with us, we want to do a quick flip. But at the same time, I feel like this is more like, it's not so much of a quick flip. It's more like a learning process.
Well, one thing I will say is I could definitely, you know, assist those that are more interested, you know, but just generally speaking, like it's just so much base learning I would say is involved. But you know,
it's
just
homework.
To simplify it, no, definitely. But to simplify it, I would say just start with looking up the Bitcoin white papers by Satoshi Nakamoto.
Right. Okay.
And that's Satoshi, and I think Nakamoto, Nokamato. It should pop up anyway, but that's a very good basis. Another cryptocurrency or blockchain is Ethereum.
I heard of that.
Ethereum, the reason why that's so popular, it introduced something called smart contracts.
Okay.
So what smart contracts is, so we already trading, you know, from peer to peer, you know, after I sold you the water or whatever, and you know I give you some Bitcoin. Now we could take it a step further, and we could add conditions to our transaction or to our agreement.
Wow.
So
you make it now. Are you the one making these terms, or is it a term that you have to follow?
It's programmable contracts basically.
Okay.
So we ourselves could program the contract, and we can make it to our liking. There's platforms that allow you to do this basically.
Okay.
And then from there you could kind of just, you know, just depending on what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, that contract that you're doing. So when you present it to another individual, what about if they're not feeling your contract? Can you tweak it to make it, you know what I mean? Can you change it at any given time? You know what I mean? Or is it like, okay, this is what it was, so you got to stay like this for a year? Or you get penalized for it? Because you know some things you get penalized once you change it.
Right. Well, typically it's all programmed initially to how you both have to agree on that contract. It's not something where, you know what I mean?
It's not a one-man show.
Yeah,
Got
not
you.
like a unilateral, I think they call it.
So it's something that I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Together we have to agree on those terms.
Okay.
And then it's all pretty much the technology involved.
Wow, that's dope because now you and the other individual can come to some type of understanding where it can. I'm gonna say this, help both.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You could leverage. See the thing about cryptocurrency is it's so crazy to the point now where people are playing video games. I don't know if you heard about this yet, and they're earning their earnings in the video game. They're able to
Yeah.
transfer that to Bitcoin or to Ethereum or to
Yeah.
other coins where they can cash it out for dollars, euros, whatever they're dealing with.
Right.
So it's like an ever evolving space when it comes to your art, when it comes to business, and that's with NFTs. It's just like an ever evolving space. It's a lot of potential in it. I think you could, again, like circling back to your original question, you could cash out, but it's basics you got to know. You got to know what your private keys are versus your public keys. Your private keys is like your PIN number. Your public keys is like your account number.
Okay.
Like you may give out your account number, but not to everybody. Only somebody you're gonna do a business with, and then you're not gonna give anybody your PIN number.
It's like
regardless.
any other PIN number that you have, regardless, like your ATM PIN number. You're not gonna be say, "Yo, my man, take my PIN." Right, I got you.
But there's it is kind of a vulnerable space, like anything, and you gotta watch yourself. You gotta know what you're doing.
I was gonna ask you that because I know it's individuals that can sense that you're not as knowledgeable, so they preying on you.
Yeah. Oh,
vultures in every culture.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially in the crypto space. Like,
right, being that it's so fresh and so new and so many people are coming into it. So let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
What would you have to stay away from? Like what would be a red flag for you? I'm gonna say for you because you're more in depth with it. If you was online, you doing your 1-2s. Someone y'all conversating, however y'all conversating, how y'all talk. What would be a red flag for say, hold up, he's on some bullshit?
Anybody just soliciting you to send them Bitcoin for whatever reason. A lot of times it might be accounts that it looks like one of your favorite people on Instagram or whatever social media you're on, or Twitter or whatever. And it's a whole scammer. And
just
they
doing the Instagram hacking and yo, cash at me. I'm a Okay.
And they doing it with the crypto, and they've been doing it for years now. On every different app. It might, y'all may not have noticed it. You might be getting friends, and it says crypto trader. I'm not to say all those people are scammers,
right? But those are the red flags that you have to pay attention.
You got to look out for that. Absolutely.
Because our listeners that may not know, such as myself, don't know that. So if I'm doing this and somebody hits me, we get gassed up fast. Yo, they want to work together.
Nah.
This nigga might be preying on me because he know, okay, that's a weak one.
Right.
So with your knowledge and the wisdom that you bringing us, you already know, okay, that's a red flag.
Absolutely. I wouldn't. Nah, don't even, because they'll get you. I've heard horror stories. I'm not gonna hold you in the past. When I first started out, I've gotten myself. You know what I mean? Just not understanding the space and how to really move properly. So
do you believe that but I believe that comes with the game. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Because we take losses in life.
But it doesn't have to. You sometimes you have to learn from other people's mistakes as well. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think, and that's why, I try to give people the forewarning. You got to slow down. Like, you can make money. It's an ever evolving space. What I like to say is like, it's like what the internet was in 2001.
Okay. Let's
you know what I mean? When the internet first came out,
right?
And it was all that hype and
AOL and all that.
And look at the internet now. You know what I mean? We talking about Web3, and you know what I mean. We done had Facebook and MySpace and all this.
Was that 21 years ago?
Yeah, it's been some time.
Think about all the shit that went through between that time to today as we talking.
Right.
It's a lot of. Yeah. I never even looked at it like that. And I guess that's how this crypto world works.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's a world within itself.
Absolutely. So, as far as a world within itself, I think I touched a little bit earlier on Web3.
Let's talk about it.
So Web3 is the third layer of the internet. So
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So
see, I didn't know that at all. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So how we were saying Facebook, Instagram is kind of like web layer 2. Well, Web 3 is now this is going to sound a little crazy at first. It's a layer of the internet where you have to have cryptocurrency to interact with the website. So you got to have some type of wallet, and that's how you. So it gives you that
That's how
security.
you can get involved. So it's something like a secret society type shit. You gotta have that, because if you don't have it, I can't get in it. I don't have the, you know what I mean? I don't have it.
Yeah, I and some degrees, I guess you could say that. But it's anybody can get it. There's centralized exchanges, there's decentralized exchanges. What that means is decentralized. It basically like the same idea of the original cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. It allows that peer to peer without a third party. Now there's certain cryptocurrencies where they're traded on centralized exchanges where there is a third party involved. Now, sometimes they're a little bit easier, like Coinbase. That's a popular one.
Okay, I've heard that.
I'm not sure where if Binance. I think Binance is another one. So there's exchanges where they have that centralized effect, but there's so many that were decentralized at one point. But with all the regulations and the talk with all these countries, so I think Venezuela may have legalized it completely. There's governors trying to legalize their states with having Bitcoin as legal tender. So the cryptocurrency space is really like changing the world. It's already changed the world. Yeah, but back to the Web3 layers. So the whole point of having that, or the whole real hype about cryptocurrency, in my opinion, is that it allows this decentralized method where we can transact anonymously, and reserve our anonymity, and we can move around, as we
As a
please.
ghost.
Right.
Wow.
And it's legal, lawful, whatever you want to call it. And
It's not like you scamming nobody. You just don't know who the hell I am, and you just okay.
Now I'll be honest with you. Since I would say the past 2 years, the hype of it has been kind of changing, and at this point, there's a lot of what they call KYC or AML. So what KYC is, know your customer, and it's the SEC with the anti-money laundering and all that. So that's really kind of something that you kind of like I'm saying, you got to dig in. You got to really kind of like be walking, holding your hand with people, or you got to fully dig in and do your research. Okay. I wouldn't say, like I said, maybe crypto.com. I don't, me personally, I don't really mess with too many exchanges. It's certain.
Why you don't mess with it? Because you're involved in it. So I need your opinion on that. Why you don't do it?
Because I per se, I'm not so much of a crypto trader. Okay. Meaning, like, just how you could trade stocks in the stock market, you could trade cryptos. Like I said, there's over 25 different cryptos. Those are considered digital assets, like real assets.
Right.
People are making millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands, whatever, off of crypto right now, just like they are in stocks. So, like I said, I don't like having to go through the people that have kind of been around the block for a second. They know that a lot of the governments, the banks, they're just, they're trying to take over, and they're trying to keep it decentralized, because it's about decentralization. That's a very big thing that you'll hear in crypto. When you do your research, you'll find out that that's like, that's like a big thing that people have to be involved in. Excuse me, but yeah, that's something that's really important, is that you stick to the kind of the decentralized platforms versus decentralized platforms like Coinbase, like I've heard, or Robinhood is another one where I think you could trade crypto. I've heard horror stories about both, where people might be gaining, like the market is up, because with crypto, that's the thing, it's volatile like any other investment, but you could be up though, like 300%, like no other stocks, no other real assets is doing what crypto has done. It's continually making history year after year as far as the profitability. You just have to understand how to move. There's ways to make money when the market is red, just like you can do the same with the stock market. So like I said, with anything, I stress you have to kind of like get the basic education you need. I feel like too often we want to just rush into stuff because we see
You gotta say
it's
that.
popping.
I think I need you to repeat that because I think that's very important. That's a key
Yeah,
to opening the door. Like,
Right.
please let our listeners know that. Like,
yeah,
please.
absolutely. Like you got to make sure to always really truly educate yourself in whatever space you're doing, especially crypto, because you know a lot of the times you just may miss the vital steps. You don't want to move too fast and lose a lot of money. Like I'm telling you, man, I've been around the block a couple times, and I've made a lot of mistakes. We all have to learn by example sometimes, but you don't have to. If you really learn the pure basics of what you need to know, you'll be all right. You'll be all
That's what's
right.
up. That's what's up, man. You've been dabbling in this for a while,
Yes, sir.
but before you got involved in this, man, where did the whole and I want you to just follow me on this question.
Yes, sir.
You went to a different lane.
Yeah.
And I admire that, and I respect you for that. Because a lot of people, oh, you want some geek shit,
Right.
you want some other shit,
I don't care. I'll say that. It's cool.
right? You know what I'm saying? But I admire that because you doing it with confidence.
Right.
And as we talk,
Appreciate
I'm listening, and I'm like, wow. It had to be something when you was a little bit younger that just. I'm not saying you don't like football, but I'm just using the example. Yo,
Right.
come out and play football. Now I'ma chill. I'ma do this.
Right.
Like, where was it at that point where you said, I'm gonna go left instead of going right? Because it had to be at that one point. And I asked all my, entrepreneurs and individuals who's doing their thing in business, branding, marketing. It had to be a point where it just something caught your eye at a young age
Right.
where it says, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and just go play touch football. I'm gonna put my head into this.
You know what's funny? It's a couple of things because I was recently kind of thinking about this. Like, where was I doing similar stuff to what I'm doing now when I was younger? And I was always doing a lot, but personally, I think I did at one point. I did kind of make some kind of website, or I was doing some kind of tech. But I also, was making beats. My older cousin, he had like a little project studio, so I was on the MPC. So I was always kind of into programming.
Okay.
I guess you could say to some extent. I remember in middle school for a project, I researched MIDI. I don't know if people know about MIDI. Like anybody that makes beats, it's the musical interface digital instruments. I think is what it
Right. So
stands
you
for.
always had that knack for just right. That's
just tech.
Yeah, the tech. You've always been a part of the tech world.
I think so. Yeah.
I like that because that's people don't and I'm gonna say, matter of fact, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Our culture don't always
Gravitate to that.
exactly. It's like, yo, you're not playing football. You ain't. Yeah, I'm gonna play football. You ain't playing basketball. You know what I mean? It's the
Right.
typical black. You ain't gonna
Same
do this.
old
You ain't
thing.
gonna do that. You in the
Right.
tech. What the fuck you talking about? Tech, man. If you don't come outside,
Facts.
but you kind of stayed with it, and
Absolutely.
it gave you that. I can grow here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now, now we here 2022 and this crypto thing, and it's like I see the passion with you. Like you're the level of this is endless. I feel like from just having this conversation with you now, it's like it's no roof to this shit.
Right. I appreciate
And I
it.
believe that you know that.
Nah,
Like
definitely.
somewhere, somehow, you done tapped into. Yo, it's really no ceiling to this shit. This
Nah,
shit
absolutely.
is endless.
It's an ever evolving space, and I would advise people get on it now because what people don't realize is it's still early. It's not like you're not late to the party at all. Like,
Oh, okay.
like you would still be considered early. The thing about it is you want to get in now because all the big corporations, your favorite designers, your favorite everyday companies, they're getting involved
I
in
saw
the
it on
crypto
Cash
space.
App.
It's everywhere.
Like, and it's like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't got that shit.
Yeah.
But it's, you know what I'm saying?
They
So
trying to
it's-
normalize it.
Let's talk about that. Why are they trying to normal now? Why you think that they trying to norm? Why
Because
you
they
think
can't
that?
stop it.
Okay.
So that's why I say educate yourself because, the man, I guess, as we like to call it, is always going to be there. You know what I mean? But it's just about what lane are you in. You know what I mean? If you educate yourself and you know how to move, and you know the platforms where you don't necessarily have to KYC all the time, and you know you can have your private wallet, and you know what I mean. It's just like a certain way you gotta move.
Just like anything else, you gotta
Just like
move
anything
else in life. This shit is the same way as anything else.
Right.
You apply those. That's the thing we talked about on the way here. You apply yourself. Okay.
Right.
The same way you moving this, you moving that.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where we get lost at because we figure we don't. I'm gonna say this. We don't always feel comfortable in a certain space. So if you don't feel comfortable, we don't. Oh, I ain't fucking with that because I don't know how to move. But really, it's the way you just. It's how you been moving.
Right.
It's just learning.
It's you being ready for it. You know what I mean? Whatever you. I feel like just with anything, if you're not really taking the time out or just devoting some type of dedication for it, then you're not really serious. You know, you got to really, whether it's a course, whether it's a consultation, whatever it is, that's important. Like that shows your effort. If you're willing to spend your money or just set aside time, really, even because time is the most valuable thing.
I was about to say, I believe that time is everything with this. And I think that's where we lose the focus because, sometimes we can get off course. Oh, this shit ain't interesting enough. Oh, it's not moving fast enough. Oh, I don't get it. Oh, I don't feel it. We quick to say, and get back to what we normal to, okay, I know this.
Accustomed to, yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
I'm accustomed to.
Right.
So it's like, with this, as I'm sitting back and I'm learning from you, I'm like, wow, because what you're saying makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's like, strategize it. Understand it.
Right.
And at any point that I'm wrong, please stop me in my tracks.
No, you're right.
You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right.
Strategize it, understand it, learn it, take your time, but also pay attention.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like this is something you have to pay attention to. This is not of course we always go with our gut.
Right.
Of course it's a gut situation. But like you said, our gut can have us bet the house and watch the house crumble, or how we can bet the house and the house be a mansion. So it can go two ways. You know what I mean? But on a smaller frame, where yo, Sean, man, like, is it a class? Is it a school? Like, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people want to get spoon fed. They don't want to do their own homework.
Right. So, and it's funny that you even say that because I was thinking something along those lines is people gonna bash me for, saying I don't really mess with Coinbase or I don't really, mess with these certain centralized platforms. But these are the same platforms that will spoon feed you and that will make the process a little bit easier. They may give you some basic education, like Coinbase or Crypto.com app or, I would really, if you really want to educate yourself, I would go to Medium.com and I would just Google, look for different crypto, Bitcoin articles, top 10, whatever, crypto for newbies. That's a way to start. Okay. If you're really, really serious, go to Medium. And Medium.com is just like for any industry, you can, dig in and learn more. So if you're really, really that serious, you can go there. Like I said, you can use Coinbase at your own risk. I wouldn't recommend it. I think Crypto.com or the crypto app is pretty decent, but I think they're centralized, I believe, as well. But you always want to dig in, and really just learn as much as possible before you say, even I'm gonna put 500 on this Bitcoin or 1,000. My friend making money. Reach out to somebody that knows a little bit more,
right?
Or at the very least, you know what I mean. If you're still kind of lost, but do some research of your own, cross-reference, because that's important.
Or
that's
maybe
really
reach
important.
out to you as well. Do you do consultations?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I don't even know if I said that right. Forgive me, fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know what I mean. But I had to ask because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie. When I get home, I'm gonna look into this, and I might be hitting the phone like, "Yo, King,
say that.
Let's walk me through this," because I feel like this is also me as a father, and I'm thinking along the terms of my kids. This could be financial for my kids.
Oh yeah. Oh man, so being that you said financial, with a lot of people that may have heard of this space, but I want to jump in this, it's a little treat for them. I think they may be definitely interested in this is NFTs.
Yo, I was just about to get into that with you.
Okay.
So let's just go because
Okay.
I was gonna question you about the artist that's doing this. Like I see
Right.
that now. What's the big?
What's
Why
the
is
big
the
deal?
artist doing that now with their? Talk to us, man. This is your platform.
Gotcha. So, absolutely. So, NFT is also known as a non-fungible token.
Okay.
So, a token, and the difference between a coin and a token is something that's represented on a separate blockchain. A coin is like of that. It's like native to that blockchain. So these non-fungible tokens are basically digital assets that allow a company, brand, or artist to to sell and resell their art or their property, whatever you want to call it, the digital asset, and add a percentage to it. So they're pretty much getting like royalties.
Got you. That's why the artists are doing that because they're getting the royalties from it.
Right, and I mean it goes a little bit deeper than that. There's so many kind of NFTs, like your favorite rappers, like Lil Baby. You know, I think your boy Justin Bieber, Jay-Z. There's so many different pop artists and rap artists that are in the NFTs now. And I think it's really because they understand where it's going. They're digital assets. Like there was a dude online that traded in his Lamborghini to go get an NFT because he said, and this was a white dude, not that it matters, but he traded in his Lambo because he said, I feel like NFTs are the new flex, and he got a Bored Ape. So there's something called Bored Ape Yacht Club. That's definitely some NFT project you want to research. Another one is called Crypto Punks. So these are some of the first ever NFTs. Now these just look like digitized art pieces basically, but the thing about NFTs is they have to have something called utility.
Okay.
So utility in a sense is maybe it gives me access to this concert, and when I get to the concert, I can use this digital ticket, and now I can redeem it to get into the private, exclusive, secret society, like you were saying earlier, concert, or maybe the first people, So there's NFT projects where there's thousands of the art piece, and maybe the rare 50 allow you to get a free exclusive sweater. If it's a Burberry product, like there's so
I got
much.
you. I'm
it's
following
crazy.
you. It's crazy.
It's crazy, and this is happening right now. There's gaming platforms that's making people millionaires just by gaming every day. It's just, and this is all just NFTs we're talking about, just
Right.
only NFTs.
Right. Let's be clear. Only NFTs, y'all.
As far as the other cryptocurrencies, you can make money by what they call hodling or holding.
What's hodling mean? Explain that to the folks that may not understand that. 'Cause
I'm
I
glad
don't
you asked.
understand it.
I'm glad you asked. So this is gonna sound funny. So there's always all these little terms. So hodl came about when a guy in a it's gonna sound really geeky.
Nah, it's education. Please drop the jewels.
So hodling came about when a guy in a crypto forum. All right, so let me say this first. Let me preface it. Where a lot of people that once they get into a white paper,
Okay.
you know about white paper now.
Yes.
Once they get into a white paper, they become very dedicated, and some people will just be in it just for the profit, just like a stock. They might be in there just for the profit to get it in and out, but there's other people that they're gonna be in there for the long ride, whether it's up, whether it's down.
Right. They loyal. They riding.
Yeah, they believe in the team, all that. So there was basically a stock going up and down, and the guy was typing it real fast in the chat, and he wrote hodl instead of hold. So now it kind of stands for hold on for dear life, or hold on dear life. So that's one term, FOMO.
That's a slang.
That's a slang.
So when y'all in that group, when y'all chit chat,
But this is everybody. This is like the whole. This is like in the crypto space. There's certain
right,
terms that.
right. That's what I'm saying. It's basically their own language.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So someone, if I'm on there and I see somebody say, "Yo, I'm hodling."
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, let's go. I'm following you. I'm listening.
So another one is FOMO. That means fear of missing out. So this is another reason why I say educate yourself, because it happens to all of us. It happens if you've ever, put a little bit of money in the stock market. Once you're committed to a position, and I'm not much of a trader, but like a crypto trader, but there's different ways, like I said, to just invest in the coin. And if you're in under a cent and you're making money, you're good. You know what I mean? You're profiting. So, but you never want to just jump in just because you see it's going and you don't know what's going on,
right,
or just take it out because you see it's dropping a little. You don't never want to just do that. If you're gonna get into really trading, unless you're having someone trade on your behalf and or teach you, you wanna be especially educated with that, because that term is really called FOMO, or fear of missing out.
Right.
So a lot of people get FOMO with crypto, then they say, "Oh, this shit doesn't work," or
they start to panic and start to
right, because they didn't educate themselves.
Right.
As always.
Now, have you played in the stock market?
Absolutely, I have. With my former job, with my little 401k. I definitely, did a little something. I, played with a couple different profitable shares. At one point, even some crypto blockchain companies, to be honest with you. And, but I would say crypto is just, the thing about crypto is you could invest in those same stocks on crypto platforms. As well as these 2,500 other currencies that's out there, and it's probably more than that. You know what I mean?
So there's something that's on the stock market. It's also in the
on the crypto exchanges.
So let me ask you this: if it's on the stock market and it's on the crypto exchange, just your opinion,
right?
Because like you kept it a buck, you're not a financial advisor. What would be the best one? What would be the best lane? Should you say the crypto, or should it go with the stock, or it's just depending on what you're dealing with?
I would really. I mean, it really depends on the person, but I would really say it's better to go with the crypto exchanges.
That's your opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion, because you can get access to those same stocks, and a lot of your favorite stock market exchanges, they're getting their own kind of crypto blockchain platform anyway, because they always gonna, Goldman Sachs and all, they always gonna go with the future. You know what I mean? Chase and JP Morgan, they have their own blockchain called Quorum. You know what I mean? So it's like, if the biggest players, if that's the
Chase and JP Morgan have their own
blockchain, yep, their own crypto technology called Quorum, QUORUM.
And I heard Merrill Lynch or some shit is involved in that shit as well.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. Merrill Lynch and I think Bank of America, I'm not sure about their exact projects that they're involved in, but they have, I think, the most patents for any bank. Like blockchain or crypto patents, they have the most for any bank. Nike, Adidas, they just announced new NFT projects a few weeks ago.
I seen that prior to you coming on the show. I was like, wow, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Why you think they jumped into it? You think they jumped into it because everybody else jumped into it, or it's a booster for the company?
So I think for all those reasons, like Nike, I know for sure they've been cooking for a while. Like they I think they patent like a Nike ID kind of blockchain thing, like back in like 2018 or something, like a few years back. And they actually just acquired, so they're definitely using partially for marketing. They just acquired a Metaverse company. So the Metaverse itself is basically the actual digital world where people's avatars essentially are interacting in this digital world, and you can buy land, and that's what's going on. That's how far we are right now. And
it's like really something like And I'm gonna say this out of all fairness, it's like some outer space shit.
Yeah.
Like, we got other planets. There's 9 other planets besides Earth.
Right. Absolutely.
This crypto thing is planet type shit. This is some out of the world, but it's really right here.
Right.
If that makes sense to my listeners and anybody else, it's out of this world, but we're here.
Right.
We're here with it.
That's really a fact. It really literally is out of this world. So for the most part, people are interacting right now in the metaverse with those Oculus Rifts. The joints. Mark Zuckerberg, he got that company with the goggle joint.
You strap on your head and you play the game.
So I
actually have that. That shit is crazy.
Yeah. So I know that with Facebook, they have their own. I believe what they call their multiverse, but the metaverse is decentralized. So the thing you'll see, and this is why I say educate yourself at least on a basic level, is because something that you'll see consistency out of crypto, and we talking about Facebook and these bank and that bank and Nike, is that it's always going to be corporations involved.
Of course.
Now, so the main value of any true crypto blockchain person that they understand is that it's about decentralization. It's about us having the leverage to say, yo, we don't need this bank. We don't need this and that company. Like we can transact how we want to transact.
Wow.
So that's the power of the technology more than anything. That and the fact that it's something called an immutable ledger, meaning that it actually uses, the way it works is it uses something called blockchain mining. So what it does is it pretty much uses a computer to solve an algorithm, and there's a bunch of computers in the network, right? Let's just say a bunch of computers in the network. Each computer in the network is called a node. So each node has to confirm, let's just say there's an average of 50. They have to confirm that we're charging each other the same price and
right,
it's the same transaction. So and that's recorded on the distributed ledger. So that's how it works. Is there's something called mining, and then that's called proof of work. That's one way of mining. Then there's something called proof of stake, where pretty much everybody in the network has to put down money to prove their legitimacy or prove their real value, basically.
Right.
So it's these it's so much to learn.
It's just
but
levels to this shit.
Yeah,
it's really. As I'm sitting back and I'm listening to you, I'm not even
different.
Right. That was the word.
Different.
I don't even understand how different. And I'm not even gonna say difficult. I'm gonna say different, because once you get an understanding of anything, it's not difficult.
Right.
But if you don't have a clue, such as myself, so I'm gonna keep everything 100 up here. It's like this is a whole nother
planet
atmosphere. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna lie, it's very interesting for me.
Right.
And I'm like, wow. Like, I didn't realize all this shit was even going on. Y'all can say what y'all want. I may not be tuned, but I didn't realize.
No, a lot of people don't. Like I said, like, believe it or not, anybody right now is still really early. Like, there's certain websites where they're only looking for crypto blockchain people, especially these corporations, because they don't want to miss out.
Right.
There's little kids, believe it or not, 17 to younger than that, like 12, 15, 17, 19, making millions of dollars.
That was my next question. So is no age limit of getting involved in this
shit? Nope. And the funny thing about it is some of the younger, some of you watching, some of your kids might right now have 100,000 in they crypto wallet right now. You don't even know, because kids, they tend to, adapt in a space, and this is one of those spaces, like I said earlier, you literally could be making money playing video games. People are making money
and
playing video games.
I have a son that's a gamer, so now I'm going to be kind of like, yo, what's up with this? You know what I mean? Because he's a gamer.
That's awesome.
He's a gamer. Like, he's in the crib, might be right now just doing what he's doing, yelling, screaming, yo, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? But
right.
I'd rather you be in the crib gaming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy because it's no age.
Nope.
And they're bringing it to and it's funny, they are bringing it to our youth in the video games.
Absolutely. There's people that's playing, corporations paying millions of dollars for plots of land and cryptocurrency games and just platforms. So there's platforms where You know, like you could have bought for the cents of a dollar like anything else when it first came out, or even $100, and now people are renting out an acre of their land for $1 million a month in a game or in a digital world. And this sounds made up, but this is what's really going on. It's serious. It's really
That's some next
it's
level.
really
shit.
changing the game. Like,
That's some
seriously.
really next level shit right there. That shit got me like, wow. I'm gonna ask you this, man. Is this shit gonna take over the dollar? In your opinion? Because let's be clear, everything we talking about is my man's opinion up in my man. So I don't want nobody hitting me or yo, your man said and why they you know that shit goes on because
Well, to be totally honest with you, I would say yes because there's something called CBDC, and that stands for Central Bank Digital Coins. So, like I said, Bank of America.
Repeat that again for our listeners, man.
So it's called CBDC, Central Bank Digital Coins.
Wow.
So basically, since they started trying to kind of regulate the crypto space and seeing they have pulled some places, but some places they just can't really stop it. You know, they on some if we can't beat them, join them kind of
Right.
thing right now. So, you know, I did see something, an article recently. I mean, I heard about it a couple years ago, but I saw something recently where they're talking about proposing some kind of like digital, you know, crypto-based dollar. I don't know how true or how soon. I don't know if anybody's really familiar with like the term quantitative easing, where the Fed, like what they just did recently, just print a bunch of money, and now we messed up in inflation basically. So it's an inevitable problem that at some point they're gonna have to do something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they're already prepared for it to be. In my honest opinion, I think it could happen. Like, you know, like very soon. You know, like I don't know how soon. Like I said, that's just my opinion. But I would say within the next. I mean, I don't know if I'm ready for that just yet, and I'm a crypto enthusiast or, you know, person that's really avid about it. But in maybe the next year and a half, you know, I don't know.
That
It's possible. I think.
I mean, anything's possible when you're dealing with what we dealing with.
Yeah, because it's a lot of like Miami, I believe they accept Bitcoin. It's a few states that are accepting it as legal tender. I forget the dude, but I think there's a dude with an NFL contract that's in Bitcoin. Is it TO? I'm not sure, but it's a lot in the crypto space that people just not really know, and I think LeBron James just came out with a crypto education space, so it's something that, you know, our people aren't totally oblivious to.
Right.
It's just that, like with anything else, it takes time. Like if that's not where your head is at the moment, but I would advise it's something that it's inevitable. So if you're not gonna get on per se, you better get your kids on. Like you were saying, like especially if they're in the gaming, like it's people making digital assets, you know, like or games, essentially, or game characters even, and they selling them for hundreds of dollars or maybe even $1,000. It's that crazy. It's that crazy.
Wow, Jen. I didn't have no clue of this, man.
It's crazy. And it's only evolving. Like every day, there's a new project. There's a blockchain that's better than that.
I was about to say, it's somebody right now as we talking in their room or somewhere. I don't even know where they say they at.
Right. In
Cooking.
the Metaverse.
Cooking up some shit for Monday that's going to hit us and like, yo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think if let me know if I'm right or wrong about this, but I think that was make this shit so unique though, right? That tomorrow something can just
you could pour your creativity in it and you can make money at the same time. You know what I mean? Like it's like inevitable to what could really happen to you. Like there's projects where people, you know, done spent $50 and it made them hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars, like NFTs. There's people that did the same with investing in crypto coins and tokens, you know what I mean? So I think it's just one of those things. It depends on what you into and, you know, where your mind is at, but I think it's definitely the future.
Right.
I think if it at least slightly piques your interest, you should definitely learn as much as you can because it's only going to benefit you, your children. There's a couple people I know in the space that's really generated tons of generational wealth with just whatever they did in crypto, whether it was crypto trading or just buying a little of this token when it's at less than a penny, or buying a couple NFTs or one NFT. It's just so many ways to generate income, like in general. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think that's the unique part about all of this. It's no, like I said again, I'm gonna say it again. It's no ceiling.
There's really no ceiling. Absolutely no ceiling. Because if you, like honestly, personally, I'm thinking about really getting into to coding. You know what I mean? Like actual.
What? Fill me in. Fill us in.
So coding.
Hold on, before you do that.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you this question, and this literally just dawned on me. Do you feel like the jobs may switch over and start paying us in crypto currency?
That's
like,
a great question. That's a great question.
You know, that just hit me just now. So I just said, while we was,
right.
Do you think that can happen? And please let everybody know these are my man's opinions. You know what I mean? These are not actual facts. We just talking. I don't want everybody to get confused and just be like, "Yo, he said."
Right. So I would say it's a possibility. I think it just really depends on what the Fed is talking about. But there's definitely states that they're doing crypto moves already. Like Vegas, back in 2018, they talked about building a whole crypto city. Like they already building it right now. So I think it's going to happen on a state level first.
Okay.
And then maybe if it,
however it picks up,
it might lead to,
to the next.
The full legal tender everywhere.
Okay. Now go back to what you were, talking about just a minute ago.
I'm trying to think exactly where I left off. Yeah, so as far as dang, I think you had asked me a particular question. But yeah, anyway, as far as like the blockchain is concerned, I think that you really have to just gotta kind of like learn the basics. Like learning the basics is really key. Just about your wallet, like having the right wallet. Like there's something.
You keep talking about this wallet. What's this wallet, man?
Okay, so
you keep talking about you done said that multiple times.
Gotcha.
What's the wallet?
All right, so a wallet is basically where your cryptocurrency is stored.
Okay.
So we know that it's a digital currency, so it's nothing physical. It's just something that we send in.
It's like your stash. The wallet is your stash box, your Nike box.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And I had to use the Nike box for the terminology for our listeners.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's just like sending credit, basically. Like how you got the credit on your Apple Pay or your Cash App, same kind of thing, but it's just in a different currency. So it's where it's stored. Now you send out, like we talked about earlier. I would, if I'm sending you Bitcoin or whatever currency I'm sending to you, I would give you my public key, or you would give me your public key, and what that is like your account number.
Okay.
And from there, I could type it in manually, but there's usually like what a QR code is.
Right.
It usually comes with a QR code because it's a lot of characters. And nobody wants to type all that, so you can usually just scan somebody else's wallet if you're in person, or they can send you the QR square, boom, and then now I send you whatever amount I owe you directly to your wallet. So that's pretty much how a wallet works, and then it comes to you like almost instantly. So,
but can somebody go in your wallet and take something from you?
It's just like, like.
Because that may be a question that somebody may ask. I'm giving you this information. It's like
of course.
It's like me giving you my ATM PIN number.
Yeah, you don't want to just. Well, if they have your public key, they can't do nothing. If they have your private key, that's like your PIN number.
You see the difference of how that know what I mean. So if they say that again for the you know what I mean.
So your public key, like we said, it's like you're not gonna just give it out to anybody anyway. But it's like an account number, you know what I mean? So that's what you give out, but you would never give out your private key. Your private key is like almost like your PIN number. So as far as to answer your question about can anybody get into it, it's just kind of like saying can people get into my banking app on my phone? As long as you got your code or whatever, and they can't just log in. Most apps they have some type of code or something that you can enter, like preliminary thing before you just go to the main wallet. But also there's something called cold wallets. So what we're talking about mainly is called hot wallets. So the difference with cold versus hot wallets.
You said cold, not cold, but cold is COLD.
Yes, COLD.
Okay.
So cold wallets are basically wallets where they're not really connected to any other company, any other app. It's like something like that looks like a USB drive called a Ledger Nano S.
Got you.
That's one of the ones I have, and this is for cold storage. So basically, same way you would take the data on your flash drive, get it, take it off the computer, is the same way you can do with your crypto. So there's other devices or cold wallet devices similar to that, but you could hold more or less cryptocurrency, and that's one of the safest ways to store your cryptocurrency. So when you need it, you plug it into whatever, sends it to whatever wallet, boom. When you don't need it, you go and tuck your wallet.
So what about the hot?
So the hot wallet, it really just depends on where your hot wallet is at. For instance, one of the reasons why I'm not too big on a Coinbase for crypto or Robinhood for crypto is because their hot wallets have been known to get people, like, you know what I mean, where the market is up. Oh shit, I made this little $300, I made this $500, I made this $1,500, and guess what? They doing a lockdown because they're a centralized exchange, and you can't even take out that bread. So that's what like corporations, you gotta know better. So that's why I'm saying it's important to educate yourself to know, like,
hot wallet is really the way not to go.
But if you're on a centralized exchange,
okay.
So there's what they call DApps, which stands for decentralized apps.
Okay.
And now these are on the Ethereum blockchain with the smart contracts because they allow you to do the more complex stuff.
Right.
So on these DApps, they have more user friendly wallets, and a lot of the times, I hate to say it, I'm an iPhone person all day. You might have to go get you an Android, or you might just have to be going to crypto exchanges to purchase certain, like, just to move properly. Now, like I said, I do sound biased, but once you really get into the space and understand what's going on, you understand how important it is to stay decentralized as possible. And Robinhood and Coinbase, they can maybe make you a little bit of money, get you rolling, get you started, but I wouldn't advise you use either of those platforms or any centralized platform for that matter as your go-to wallet. Go and get you a cold storage wallet, even if you intermittently, while you switching you make a little profit here and there. Okay, I made a little $50, I made whatever, and then you switch it to your cold wallet. That's the way to go. But that's why I say it's certain things that you gotta really understand. You don't just jump. You know what I mean? Because right now, it's still a learning environment. It's still a ever evolving space and learning environment.
That
Absolutely.
That thing, like, because I'm quite sure you're still learning.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things that you gotta continue to learn. You know what I mean? Because it's so many new ways to make money in it every day. Not even just that, but you could really build generational wealth just by being involved in the space.
And I think for me personally, that would attract me to this. As I'm listening to you,
right? That's
where you see. I asked you that. That's where my head went to my kids, my granddaughter. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, this is.
And y'all could all be involved with different lanes and be making money from it. That's the dope part of it. Like your son or your kids, they could be involved. One of them could be playing games and make money with NFTs. One of them could be creating games and doing NFTs. You might pick up a new hobby once you really understand the NFT space and what kind of art is hot and why this utility is, you know what I mean? Once
Right.
you get the language, you might be like, oh shit, man, like that's what's showing. I got a few NFTs. I'm making a few extra thousand a month. Like it's really happening. You know what I mean? Like from kids to adults to everyone. Like there's people that they're doing unique things with the NFTs, and it's not limited to just art. So that's one thing that I've understood for a while. I got my own projects that's not really ready just yet. Maybe later on this year I'll come back on and it'll be ready. But I got my own projects that I'm working on with as far as NFTs and.
And that was my next question to you. What are you cooking up?
Man.
I mean, I don't want you to give it to us all.
Oh no, nah, definitely not.
You know
Nah,
what I'm
I'm
saying?
not ready
But
just yet.
I know you're cooking.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And don't take this the wrong way. What I'm gonna say, I know. I see the apron. I see the hat. You're cooking.
This is the apron.
You know what I mean? You're literally cooking something up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like what you're learning,
Right.
which your mistakes, the knowledge that you might have learned on your own through your
Absolutely.
mistakes, things that was given to you. I know it. I feel like your passion's like, okay, let me get on my chef shit now.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Will you give us a small thing of what what you're cooking on? You know what I mean?
Sure. So, now I don't want to lose too much. So all right. So one of the things,
You could just give us an inkling and just
Yeah.
break it down on why that route. You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
Because
absolutely.
at the end of the day, like you said, everybody's coming up with something every day.
Right.
And I know you're not just in it just to talk about it.
Oh yeah, definitely
You know
not.
what I'm saying? You want to make your mark. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you are, which
Right.
I know you are. We're going to speak it into existence. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, appreciate it.
But, what are you brewing?
Okay, so one of the projects that I'm brewing, it definitely involves. So all right, so a lot of things that I pursued entrepreneurial, in an entrepreneurial sense, have to do with community. I'm very big on community and building just essentially. So, one of the crypto projects I'm working on has kind of do with incorporating a community of different people in their own projects in the crypto space. So it's not something where it's a closed door just yet. You know what I mean? The platform has been in the works. We're just trying to kind of finalize some things. So if you maybe want to get involved in with your brand or your art or whatever, you know what I mean, definitely hit me up whether you're interested in a project or maybe you're interested in this project and getting on the platform. But that's one of the main things I'm working on. Another one is a actual platform to actually create NFTs. So that's something that it's taking some time because it started, like, believe it or not, early last year. I really wanted to get it out, but right now that space wasn't where, like, crypto wasn't where it's at right now because of the hype and everything. There's just so much more resources, developers available. So I have part of the platform done, but I want to put this first one out,
Right.
involving the community.
Okay, I follow you.
But yeah, I'm cooking. I'm definitely
because
definitely
you're involved.
absolutely,
And after a while, you don't want to be involved. You want to have your platform in the building.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that's amazing, man, because at the end of the day, you see the vision. You know what I mean? You know the journey, you know what it takes. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you this, man. And this is gonna, what's how I want to throw this at you. In this world, this crypto world, this NFT, all these languages and all these different formats with these companies. Is there one thing that can be the game changer? Because there's always one thing that changes the whole game, or is one thing that fucks up the whole game.
Right.
In this lane, is that possible in this lane, or it's so many different things that nothing can just fuck the game up? I don't understand. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Right. So, like, maybe as far as just like some type of cons, like, I mean, or just like,
I'm not gonna say cons. I don't want to say cons. Well, we're gonna say pros and cons.
Right.
We're gonna say that because I know it's everybody's cooking up something
Uh-huh.
to have the big. Everybody wants to be number one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And me listening to you, and this question just was a freestyle question because I'm listening. You know, like you said, people inventing something every day.
Right.
It's people cooking every day.
So yeah, so I mean, like there's a lot of like dangers. Like I said, that's why it's important. Like really, education is the key thing because, like something that's been happening to people recently is called rug pulls. So a rug pull is like, I see this NFT project. The art looks dope. They have something what they call Discord, which is like a community app. They have a bunch of followers on Instagram. So there's certain signs of a good NFT project. So it looks like a good NFT project. There's mad people investing. I made a little bit of money. Then suddenly, boom, all of my money is going out of my wallet.
And they didn't pull it. That's why they call it
a rug pull. So it's things like that, like, you know, the bad actors in the space, the people that will get you, you know, and sometimes it's not even your fault. Like things could happen, but that's usually you can seek out those things. You can see what happened.
Now, is there anything that might be missing from the game that can change the game?
That can change the game
to for the better. You know what I'm saying? We talked about the negative, but do you see from your third eye?
Right.
Do you see anything that could be the game? Maybe you may not want to say it because you might be working on the game changer.
Right. Nah, I feel you.
But you feel what I'm coming at, right? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it's no ceiling to it, so it's like every day something is something is growing in this.
No, absolutely. So there's like I said, there's always so many platforms. Like I can't think of the name of it on top, but there's like a platform that's about to come out that's kind of like a PayPal for crypto, but it's decentralized. So something like that, like that's a reason why I think PayPal allows you to accept crypto now. Like it's the reason why all these other corporations are jumping in. So just the modernization of crypto is just happening, and I think it's just going to start happening more and more and faster. And like you asked me earlier, do you think it's going to get to a point where like everything's going to go crypto? And I think that's inevitably what's going to happen soon, and that's the way it's going to happen.
So the dollar's not going to be worth shit.
Right now it's not. The only thing that's really giving the dollar value is the fact that you and I agree that $100 is worth $100. You know what I mean? But it's debt notes. You know, we trade in debt for debt. But with cryptocurrency,
You said what is debt notes?
No, it's called debt notes.
Well, explain that a little bit. Debt notes.
So,
because we're talking about regular $100 bill,
right?
But you just hit me with a. Why would they in that world? Why would they call it that?
Well, fiat currency are just paper money, basically, that the government or the people, you know, like individuals like you and I, that we agree on a value for. Like that's pretty much all fiat currency, like euros, dollars. Whereas digital currency, when you look at the white papers of Bitcoin, you see that it has a limited supply. So every certain amount of years or whatever, the supply of Bitcoin shortens up. Whereas, like we were talking earlier, with the quantitative easing, the Federal Reserve, they just went and printed all this money last year, the year before, and look at inflation right now. Whereas with Bitcoin, it's not. That's why decentralization is so important, because it's not controlled by this one entity or rich family or whoever they say it is. That's, you know what I mean, manipulating the market.
Got you. I follow you on that.
So I think what's really missing is just innovation, and it's gonna just keep happening. Like I think it's gonna keep happening. I think there's ideas that maybe aren't even being executed yet. Like some are, I think. But I think another thing that's missing is once some of this stuff is understood on a like a everyday household level, like from and it's taught in the schools. I don't know if they're gonna really do that.
I was about to ask you, do you see this coming to the school systems?
I think I don't know. I've heard different opinions about it. Like they say, like the wealthy educate their children on financial literacy and stuff, and the middle class and lower class doesn't really get access to those type of things. So it looks like it could be very well one of those things as well. You know what I mean? Where it's at your own risk. Like if you really gonna get into it, because it's about, I'm telling you, it's really the future, and it's how people are gonna really make money, continue to make money.
So why wouldn't they teach it in the schools then? You think it's too advanced for our students to teach?
Not that it's too advanced, but I think that institutionally, it's just a lot that's not established yet.
Okay, makes sense.
And like, if they were to do it, they may start small with little programs with like trusted, centralized companies. So that's what I'm trying to say is like, where the real value is going to be is like kind of like self-education, or you looking into, you know what I mean?
So more or less be like an after-school program first.
Right. Before it's
they
really
bring it to the class, or like, okay, I got you, because of what it is.
Yeah, and like I said, I think if they're gonna teach it in schools, like on an everyday public school thing, it's gonna be a centralized version. All right, so for instance, there's something called DeFi. DeFi stands for decentralized finance. So with DeFi, you can leverage debt and make money from leveraging debt with just you and the platform, no third party. So there's it's so much, and that's more decentralized. Remember, centralized is more involving the bank or this corporation, that corporation. So I don't really see them giving up all that game in a public school, because they never gave us that game. They never even told most of us financial literacy on a basic level, like things that we should know.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, it's like, if you really want to get the true value, I would say you just have to educate yourself. Educate not just yourself, your family.
But that's what I'm about to say, because if we're gonna be truthful, and you know what, I'm gonna be truthful. I'm gonna put it out there. My family, in my household, we don't have a understanding of it yet.
Right.
So I can't teach mine about something I don't understand.
Nah, I hear that.
So with him being taught in school, because it's like, I don't know if you're a father or a parent, but it's like, you know how your kid brings some shit, like, what the hell is this? What the hell are they doing in school now? I don't know this shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? It could be one of those type of things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said, the white people, they teach their kids financial, but we in the public schools, we barely even give, let's just keep it a buck, we barely getting the real black history.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So how much, financial literacy are you really going to teach us in the public schools? But I feel like what you're telling me within itself, it should be taught. It should be. But I feel like, and this is just my opinion, because I'm kind of jumping over what you said, it makes sense. Like, they don't have a complete programming to say, okay, we're gonna go to this book.
Right.
So it's like they don't want to bring that into the school and be freestyling.
Yeah.
So like you said, makes sense. It'll be an after school program, and you can sign up.
Type of thing, right?
And we're hoping, and let's be honest, how many kids are gonna really sign up for this program unless they get involved in it through the video games?
Yeah.
So maybe it should be given to the kids through the video games.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a part of I don't know so much about it, but y'all could Google it. But I think that's a part of what LeBron James is trying to do with his program. He has a program, like a blockchain based program he's coming out with, to kind of educate kids. I believe it's with blockchain and like crypto gaming. So yeah, I think I definitely get what you're saying. Like,
would that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta keep the kids captivated.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Kid here, yo, sign up for the crypto class. Nigga, I'm out. Man, yo, sign up for the gaming. Yeah. You see the difference where you just put the game in front of the crypto.
You want to make money for playing video games?
Right. Come on. compared to, I got the thing on the chalkboard, sign your name for the crypto class. It's 20 kids in the class. Just to be realistic, Teaneck High School, Inglewood High School, Hackensack High. How many gonna really, compared to, we having a gaming class after school, come sit down. Now we got 50 of these kids in there. Now we're gonna hit them with now we're gonna blindside them.
Nah, but that's why I say
wording is everything.
Nah, definitely wording, but just in general, I think it's something for the whole family. At first, it's like it's foreign. It might sound a little scary, like, yo, what the hell is this? All this shit Sean talking about. But now I'm telling you, this is something that with the 5 years from now, it's gonna be bigger than this. And you could be somebody that feeling like you late, but you an expert and you know way more than anybody else. You know what I mean? Like on different levels. And I think I forgot what I was gonna say earlier. I was gonna say something about coding. Like I was thinking about getting into coding.
Right, that's what we got into.
Yeah,
Talk about that.
Yeah, so real quick, that's something that I'm really thinking about doing, like, because just even coding, like I talked about dApps, decentralized apps, there's a big demand for that. Everybody wants to have a crypto app, a blockchain app, where they're doing the next big thing. Like you're saying, everybody has an idea. There's companies that's hiring people
for those ideas.
or $500 an hour or whatever, stupid crazy, you know what I mean, salaries just to be a crypto developer, and that's something you can learn online. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking that's a big wave. Like I think it's gonna get to a point where learning about algorithms, knowing about crypto blockchain may be more in demand than just some regular college courses. And that may sound a little crazy to some people, but I think this is just where the technology is going.
Right.
From AI to, just all the new technologies. But crypto is definitely here to stay, in my opinion.
Wow. It definitely sounds a whole nother level. You know what I mean? When you think about it and we talk about it as I'm listening, it's like, it does sound foreign. I'm not gonna hold you.
Right.
But at the same time, it also feel like I need to be a part of that. I need to understand more about that because the level and the magnitude of where it's going, I don't think that's what people don't understand. Where is it going?
Where is it going, right?
Because, a lot of shit be here today and going tomorrow.
Right.
But from just sitting down talking to you in this time, I feel like this shit is, like I said, for 100th time, there's no ceiling to this.
It's really not. And I think that the longer you wait, the more you're gonna pull a, damn, I should have got involved when I heard this, when I saw the pot. That's right. And too many times we do that. We wait to the last minute and then we like what's the phrase? Hindsight is 20/20.
Right.
You know what I mean? So don't do that to yourself. Get involved now for you, for your family. And I think you could really, like, any and everybody can get some value out of it. Like I said, like anything else, it might take some time, but it's worth it. It's where everything is gonna shifting or going. Absolutely. Like Web 3.0, once we got on social media, we had a Twitter, a Facebook, Instagram. We didn't go back, to MySpace or to more basic primitive websites. We only move forward, what I mean?
And that was my question because, like I said, here today and going tomorrow.
Right.
With this,
nah,
it's not that type of situation.
Nah, I think this is here. I think this is definitely here to stay because, just the amount, like Walmart, I think is trying to come out with their own coin. Like all your favorite biggest corporations
wants to get a piece of the action.
Yeah, and that's a sure sign, including the banks. And that's like their arch enemy, a cryptocurrency, allowing people to trade and do stuff on their own. So if the banks is getting involved, that should tell you something.
That was the thing that I found so funny, because I sat back and I did a little 1-2 on it, nothing crazy, and I'm like, damn, all these corporations and even banks are really getting involved in this. And then I even, like I said, I saw it on the app, like it's like it's it's not on the low, but I'm gonna say it is like they kind of just sneak.
Yeah. It's like if you know, like that phrase.
Right.
If you know.
They kind of pushing it on you.
Right.
But they're not forcing it on you.
Right.
But why they not forcing it on it why they not forcing it on us?
I think they're just waiting for the right time. I don't think it's as regulated as they want it to be. They don't have enough in place. They're still testing it out. Um, I think last year was definitely one of the biggest years as far as like mass adoption. But it's not fully there yet. You know what I mean? And a lot of companies, they don't got their plan down pat. Like people, like they I'm telling you, they go with the pandemic stopped them from paying people altogether. They're paying triple that for crypto and blockchain developers, crypto marketers, or any of that. So I think it's just the fact that they just not prepared yet, and the space isn't everybody knowing about it. It's not like, remember when Facebook got to a point where everybody was like, "Oh yeah, like us on Facebook." You know what I mean?
Right.
Where it's not at that point yet. But once it gets to that point, and I think that's at max maybe 3 years away. I would say like maybe 2 or less, but maybe 3 years away. Once that happens, it's gonna be like everybody gonna be looking back like, "Damn, I could have been really involved in that. I could have really been." And I don't think, you're missing out too much if you start now. Like, this is the time to start. Even if it's little by little, walk yourself into it. When you got, like I said earlier, go to medium.com, look up a few articles about crypto, about blockchain, get different, perspectives. Because, everybody learns differently as well. So I think that's another thing is like, what starting point are you coming from? You know what I mean? Like, what are you familiar with? Like,
Right.
So I think that's definitely important as well. But I definitely see a big future in this. Absolutely.
Let me ask you this. Did the pandemic affect this?
I think it gained more users, gained more traction. I think a lot of people started to dabble into it more because they were home more.
Okay.
So they online, they in the forums, or their friend told them about it. Now they actually got time to sit home and mess around
So
with
it
whatever.
was kind of like it kind of worked.
Yeah, so it definitely worked. It's definitely like volatile, like I said, like any other investment. But like with anything else, once you take the time to get to know something and get to know your lane, it just opens up a whole new world, because it's just like, oh wow, I could just do this, do that. Oh well, I was working every day 9 to 5. Now I'm working remote 4 days a week. I'm going in 1 day a week, so I can dedicate a little bit more time to look into this. So I think that's kind of what happened too, is that people started to get involved more, started to experiment more, and definitely they definitely profited. I think the pandemic affected just literally everything. Definitely all of finance, but as far as cryptocurrency, I think 2020 was like one of the best years. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's when it hit its first all-time high of like 20K, like, or was that 2019? But yeah, like around somewhere in that time period. So
Yeah.
crypto is definitely taking off more with the pandemic as far as
Right,
the
because
user base.
yeah, and it made sense. What you said makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Man, you were involved with it already, so that's why I had to ask you that. Because did you see the growth in it in that time span compared to where it was starting? Now, of course, everything grows.
Right.
Like you said, you got more people attentive,
Right.
so it's like, can't go out. Can't.
And then you gotta understand with another real reason, like crypto punks, like I said, and Bored Ape Yacht Club. You see Little Baby, Jay-Z, they got some of those NFTs on their Twitter avatar, but the NFT space really took off from gaming. So just kids sitting home gaming. I think they were some of the people that really pushed the space forward. You know what I mean? Because they homeschooling. Some of them probably supposed to be in class, but they on the game and they making money. So they making money with NFTs. They like, man, that class could wait.
Right.
I'm not advocating.
I get
for
it,
that,
but it
just
makes
in
it's
general.
reality. It's reality.
Right.
It's reality. It's I could be in class and some of the kids is gaming and not making a dime, and
Right.
they want to get to the end of the next level.
Absolutely.
So I get it, especially if a dollar's involved and you can get access to it.
Yeah.
So it's not. It makes sense. It makes all the sense. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
I don't. That's why I asked, because it was a lot of, and the reason why I said that because I spoke to a lot of my guests up here, and I always, we kind of bring up the pandemic because the pandemic was, for some people, the game changer,
Right.
in a great way. You had more time to pursue what you was going after because you had nothing
Absolutely.
but time.
Absolutely.
And some people use their time wisely to get where they need to be. Some people, hey, we gonna party and bullshit with a little bit that we can.
Right.
So on the business aspect of it, I didn't know, me personally, I didn't know if the pandemic affected this situation because it's a whole nother level.
Right.
And you being inside that building,
Right.
you saw the highs, the lows, the changes, like, oh snap, this is going on. This wasn't going on before this hit. I'm quite sure a lot of people got richer.
No, absolutely. Because like I said, it's something that it's only evolved as the years go by. So with the latest platform or tech team that created this on the blockchain, whatever, it's just become more lucrative. You know what I mean? Like more ways that you can make money just doing different things, even like just different lanes, like a lane that just is for you, I guess. From just investing in different crypto individual coins or tokens, or buying NFTs, or creating what they call a security token or a utility token. Like, so it's just so
Endless
much
possibilities, man.
it's endless possibilities when it comes to it, definitely. So that's why I'm just like, as the time goes on, there's only going to be more in my opinion, but it does seem that they, as anything else, the big boys is trying to get their hands on everything and
Lock
snatch
the
it
game
all
down,
up,
lock it up,
right, before it's
secure
too
it
late.
before, little Johnny in his room, gets the whole goddamn thing going and shakes the world up.
Right.
So basically, that's why these rappers are doing it now with these albums.
Exactly. Like, I don't know if people know, I think Tory Lanez was the first artist to drop an NFT album, and I think he charged $1. Now all the people that were the first to actually get their hands on one of those albums, they might have became millionaires or hundreds, or got at least hundreds of thousands.
Well, explain that. How did that work? He made explain that.
So an NFT is essentially a digital file. So in some instances, you'll see just like some art, a picture of digital art, and that's just the NFT. But most NFTs with value, they have something stored in it, like a downloadable album, or they have what they call some kind of utility. A utility is just something, like I was saying earlier, like, if this is a redeemable card that, makes redeemable access to something, or it like a Bored Ape Yacht Club or CryptoPunks NFTs, they give you access to this private community, and this private community has this or this or this or that. So it just really depends on the NFT. But the way it worked with Tory Lanez, he pretty much added the album in the NFT, and basically it goes directly to your wallet. Now you're the original owner of that token, so it's like a digital asset, and that can be sold, it can be resold, and that's it. So pretty much, because Tory Lanez was the original creator of it, and he made it so he can receive a royalty. Whoever owned it, once they resold it, he got a royalty from it. They make money from it.
So everybody's making money. So if I bought it,
right,
and I sold it, Tory Lanez still gets
royalties from it,
from what I sold to somebody else, and I'm still getting mine.
Exactly. So that's why
It's a
crypto is
domino
built.
effect.
That's why crypto is so big on community, because it's such an endless space. Like we keep saying, there's no ceiling, that it's really no need to be greedy. Once you understand the concepts, once you understand the possibilities, even, you know what I mean, you really could just become rich overnight. And that sounds crazy. You can't really say that about anything. But the crypto space, if you know what you're doing, if you know what projects that are up and coming that's big, and now understand some NFT projects, just because of the artists themselves, maybe they never did an NFT project, but just because they are who they are in the real world, best believe when their project drops, if you get your hands on one, you're guaranteed gonna be rich. So it's that going on too. There's just so many ways that you can get on. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But you just gotta understand what to do, how to move, like anything else.
Cause they said Nas is doing that now with his.
Yep. I think he came out with some platform where, pretty much like the Tory Lanez situation, he's allowing people to get royalties on his album. I don't know if it's the one that just came out or if he has an up and coming
project. I'm not sure what it is, but I did see it floating everywhere. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, like you just said, basically just the name itself with him.
Right.
But it makes sense now. Now that you're breaking everything down with the communities, the head can still eat. It's like everybody's eating. I'm gonna just say that everybody's still eating,
and you'll be surprised, like
and no one's getting their throat cut.
Exactly, like Snoop Dogg, he's huge in the crypto space. He's big in the crypto space. Like he has like millions of dollars worth of land in the crypto space. For a while, he was going under like his own like Twitter, like a pseudonym crypto account with just one of his NFTs. And they suspected it was him. He eventually, so he's like it's on the low, like you said, it's kind of on the low, but it's not. There's a lot of people like really jumping in,
right? But he has the right people also in his ear,
absolutely,
that can move the pieces the way the pieces need to be moved. And I think that's the direction that. And it's funny you said the community. I think that's the direction we need to go in as a community. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For those that, you know what I mean, can't get on that Snoop level, but it's still a community. Right. As we get ready to close up, man, I wanna ask you personally, you ever thought about doing, kind of setting up your own tutorials with the people for this, man? Because the game you gave me got my wheels turning.
Yeah, definitely. I've been considering just exactly what which direction to go, but definitely I'll be willing to start with just basic consultations, just to start, because I know everyone's on a different level. So, and when I say different level, I just mean as far as like their understanding. Like they may know certain aspects or get certain points. So, I would just want to give that open, like 30-minute, hour, whatever the case may be, of just kind of like asking your questions. Maybe if people want to just get a direction of like how they can incorporate it into their company, to their brand. Yeah, I would love to. I'd be happy to. I actually have been in like hackathons and stuff like that for crypto and blockchain, with the United Nations involved and different companies.
What about speaking to the kids?
Oh yeah,
school and youth programs.
Yeah, I think that would be dope, because I think it's necessary, especially for our community, because they don't always get that kind of access. But getting them to learn, especially if they're into gaming, learn more about how they can maybe build their own games or play their favorite games, and maybe earn money from it through NFTs. So yeah, I think I could definitely see a future in both of those things, because I'm definitely about the people, and I think this is something that's really important, that if it even pique your interest in any sense, you should definitely get more involved and try to learn as much as you can. Even if, sometimes things take time, if you don't feel like you grasp it right away, or it's, there's certain parts you get or you don't get, that's fine, like I get it. It just takes time, but it's definitely worthwhile, because it's the future, absolutely, in my opinion.
Yeah, I believe in my heart that, honestly, I think that's something you should do, man. And I really think it should be on all levels, because our kids need to get this. Like, even with this gaming thing, like this gaming thing has my mind going, because I have a kid that's a gamer.
Right.
Now he's in the crib gaming. Like, that's his thing. And if he even had an idea that he can earn a couple of dollars doing this,
right,
now his antenna is even
different.
more higher.
Right.
And it's different. And, it'll keep a lot of our kids from doing a lot of other dumb shit too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It steer them away from going out here you know what I'm saying, doing the knucklehead shit. And it maybe even steer them away from saying, hey, I'm gonna go get a job. Now I'm an entrepreneur.
You'll be surprised that, like I said, there's 18-year-olds that's millionaires off of NFTs, like off of crypto or just crypto in general.
But see, that's the thing. It's not being brought to us on that level. It's not. That's not being on the. That's not on our timeline all the time. Right. That's not on the television. That's not the latest rapper.
Right.
When we're talking about their generation, you know what I mean. So if they don't see somebody that they can relate to, that's why I asked, would you be, interested in that, because you're somebody that can talk to the youth.
Right.
You was a youth. You was a kid.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? They can touch you. See, our kids, and I'm a father, sometimes, like I said this before on another show, my kid might listen to you before he listen to me, and that's not saying anything negative, because like, oh, my dad just beat me in the head.
Right.
But now Sean, my man,
it's a different perspective.
Exactly.
Right.
Because you're giving it to him in a different way, and me, I'm like, yo, my man, you gotta get your education.
Right.
Yeah, he knows, okay, my dad wants to get an education, but but it's a fun way to get education.
As I was about to say, once it becomes fun, it just is like a whole different thing.
Thank you. And I think that's what is very important for our youth.
Right.
We have to understand what captivate them. You know what I mean? What keeps them, what's going to keep them. And I feel like that gaming with the earning.
Yep.
And then now here comes the parent. You see how the domino effects on that way?
Right.
Because sometimes the parent hit the kid with it, but we not giving the kid the information. I'm not going to be able to give my son what you giving him.
Nah, I definitely get that.
Because my shit going to be everywhere. Well, you can play the video game and remember, well, how you going to do that? Well, I didn't do that. He's like, huh? What? I'm like, yo, man, just listen. And then I'm getting frustrated. You know what? Never mind. As far as you, you're giving them the step-by-step. You're giving them the play-by-play. And you're showing them. And you're gaming with them.
Right.
It's not, you know what I'm saying? And I think what you're bringing to the table, man, is, man, you definitely gave me a different outlook, man. Like, you definitely opened up my eyes to something that I had no clue. I'm not afraid to say it. Because that's another thing we put our pride in the way. Oh, I knew about it. I was working. Nah, I ain't have an inkling. So I definitely gained. And just talking to you, we're going to stay in contact with it. But also, I feel like, man, what you're doing is great because you're passionate about it. This ain't some get-rich scheme overnight shit.
Right.
I'm not trying to get a bunch of people to follow me and donate $20 to my Cash App.
Nah.
It's, this was moving, this was grooving. Let's get it.
Right.
As a black culture and community, that's something we need more brothers like yourself that's going to say, hey, man, let's get involved.
Stop playing.
Let's not be too late.
Right.
Because let's not, damn, he had him on the, now look at him. So it's like, each one teach one, but also let's get involved, man.
Nah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And before we close out, anything you want to tell the people that we didn't touch on? How to get in contact with you, your information. Just, close this thing out, man, and give these people these jewels that they need, man.
Sure. So now I definitely want to thank you for having me. I think I definitely enjoyed coming on the podcast. But yeah, I would just say, just make sure you just reach out if you would be interested in a consultation. Just send me a quick DM. By Monday or so, I should have a site. I'll drop some more basic information.
And if they don't, I don't think they know your DM. Our listeners may not know your IG, so please hit them with that information.
Got you. So hit me on IG at no liability NOLIBILITY _ no liability NOLIABILTY _ like I said, the next few days I'm gonna have a little link, maybe a little bit more crypto basics and definitely a more formal forum where y'all can just plug in your info and contact me. But if there's something you want to get on right away, feel free to hit me in the DM at no liability _ on IG. And lastly, I would just say is if you get a feeling, when you get a feeling like there's something that somewhat pique your interest and you should research more, don't hesitate. Act on it because it could change your life. It could be something really beneficial to you and your family. And if you feel that way about crypto, if you're interested, I think you should definitely do that. Absolutely.
Yo, man, y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy, the voice of the culture, man. Once again, thank you, Sean, man, for coming through, blessing us, giving us the jewels, man.
Thank you.
You know what this thing is powered by, man. It's powered by We Out Travel Group. Yo, please, follow the group, follow the team, and once you slide my man DM, let him know that you was a listener from the round table, and let's just keep this thing going. Let's keep elevating the culture, man. It's your boy, Love is Love. I'm out of here. One, stay blessed, stay safe.
One.